in Golden State. Taking a look at his legacy and the impact this season has had. He is probably the greatest three-point shooter in NBA history. In fact, I'm not even sure why I said probably. This year he made an NBA record 5.3 threes per game, breaking his own record. He's a two-time MVP, won it back-to-back in 2015 and 16. He's a finalist again this year. Could become the 9th player ever to win it 3 times. His championship pedigree, check. 3 rings to his name. One of 8 players in history with at least 3 titles and 2 MVPs. All of that led Tim Legler to say this on my radio show yesterday.
How can Steph Curry not be considered an all-time great? Particularly with what he has done once again as the alpha deeper into his career. Very few guys can have the run that Steph Curry had. Then dial it back a little bit to make room for Kevin Durant, go through injuries, and go right back, not only to where he was, Greeny, he just had the greatest offensive stretch of his career, and he was a unanimous MVP. Think about that. So for me, this year has been about the rise of Steph Curry on the all-time greats list.
So that was Tim Legler from my radio show. This is Jay Williams from KJZ on ESPN Radio. And it's an interesting thought. A year ago, I think we're having completely different conversations about Steph Curry. What has this season, in your view, meant to his legacy and his place on the all-time list of great players?
For me, I've always thought that Stephen Curry is one of the greatest to ever do it. Definitely the greatest shooting guard of all time. But I think for people, it reminds them of how prolific of a scorer Stephen Curry is and that he can carry the weight. I did not think that this team currently constructed will make the playoffs. The fact that they're in the battle for the 8th seed, we'll still see if he can complete the deal tonight, I think speaks volumes about who Stephen Curry is and his place in history.
You know, I think that there's a lot of different pieces of that are accurate. If you go back to the pre-KD Warriors, I think they were seen as a group of which he was a great scorer, but maybe just a piece, not someone who could carry a team. Then KD comes, that changes everybody's perception on everything. This year, he carries a team almost single-handedly into the playoffs, which is what all-time greats do, what all-time superstars do. I think that's a big piece of how this transforms his legacy.
I agree, and this also brings me to a different point about LeBron James. If we're giving the same love for Steph Curry to carry his team to a potential 8th seed, then how do we categorize that with LeBron James? Even though people love to demean him about his finals record, look at some of the teams he's taken to the finals. Not the 8th seed, the finals. Stephen Curry, though, what he's been able to do is on a different level, though, Greeny. And I will say this. I know Legler said he's trending towards top 10. He's not in my top 10 right now. That is not a slight on Stephen Curry. But when it's all said and done, when his career is over, when we can look at the entire body of work, he will be top 10.
Look, I mean, there's a lot, and I'm with you.
He will be top 10.
And maybe the most interesting thing that can be said about it is a year ago today, I don't think anyone was having that conversation. That's what this year has meant. There are 4 players in history who have won multiple scoring titles, multiple MVPs, and multiple championships. They are Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Steph Curry. I mean, he's on that kind of list. And so that, I think, is just, that's all Tim's point was, and I think it's a valid and interesting point to make, that Steph Curry, with the season he has had, has vaulted himself into the conversation with the greatest players of all time.
And then for anybody that gives you hypothetical scenarios by saying, oh, Kevin Durant signed that team, we don't know if they don't win 2 more championships. You know, maybe he does get 2 final MVPs. Well, all right, well, look, Ray Allen made a shot to help LeBron James win a championship, right? There's a lot of different scenarios that could have played out differently. It won't matter when it's all said and done about his greatness.
So it was announced yesterday that he is one of 3 finalists for this year's MVP award, along with Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. Who gets Jay Will's vote?
Steph Curry gets my MVP. He gets my MVP. And I was a guy literally 2 weeks ago that said, I think it's all over. I think Jokic is going to get it. It felt like Jokic has put up incredible numbers. I respect Jokic for what he's done. What we're seeing here, though, is spectacular. Jokic is spectacular, too. But for a person who's 6'2", 6'3", dropping 32 points a game, the scoring champ, carrying this team with guys who've been in the G League. There were guys in the G League on his roster. For a chance they have to complete the deal tonight, but it would be Stephen Curry for me.
Yeah, Steph Curry gets my vote as well, because you can be valuable in a lot of different ways. Does he win tonight? Does he beat Ja Morant in Memphis?
Yes, they do.
And that would mean they would move on to play Utah. All right, that's KJ. Jay Will is moving on over to KJZ, coast to coast on ESPN Radio. Thank you, Jay.
Between the Warriors and Memphis, get in the zone. Brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone, as we repeat. So again, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776 is the number to be part of that conversation. You heard what Leg said. So did KD kind of slow down the ability for Steph Curry to become an all-time great? My argument's going to be that I believe this season is what's setting up for that. We'll get the guys' take on that, of course. More on Steph Curry, his legacy. Did KD ruin it while he was there? Or is that chance still there for him, especially this year? That's coming up next. KJZ, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN.
Alan, you said yes.
I said, yeah, I think he
matter
is.
of fact.
Well, if you're going to call somebody the best shooter ever,
Yep.
then how is he not in the top 10 all time? If he does something better than anyone who's ever done it, shouldn't he be in that top 10?
So you says yes. You say
I say no as of right now. I think
How about
he's
not yet?
say no.
yeah, I mean,
not yet.
He has to. There has to be a complete body of work, and like I don't know about you guys,
Got
but
some
like,
rings, he got some MVPs.
I hear that. I hear it. I start writing it down. So, are LeBron and Michael Jordan? They're in a group of their own.
They're in the penthouse.
Okay, they're in a penthouse. That's two. Is he better than Kobe Bryant?
Steph?
Yes.
I think he's there. Don't you?
I mean, Kobe Bryant has 5 chips. I mean, and he has
Yeah.
more accolades. Him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, way more accolades than Steph.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're still going 5.
All
We're
right,
not
that's
even
4.
at 5 yet.
Okay, Shaq.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Shaq had a 3-peat. Shaq is three-time Finals MVP.
Right.
That's dominant. Shaq's one of the most dominant players to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Shaq have any league MVPs?
I think so.
I'm just saying. You're asking me. I'm putting guys on the same floor. If I have a building and I've got a penthouse, Jordan and LeBron are in that penthouse,
Okay.
and there's no other floor. There's no
That's
other.
right. Yeah, that's a
rooms.
floor. That's what I'm saying. That's
And
2.
now we're on the next floor?
Kobe, Kareem, Shaq, Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Kareem played for 20 years, so Steph's not done yet. So as you said,
I said complete body of work.
Right.
I'm just saying as of right now.
Yeah, as of right
I'm
now.
not saying where it's going to be in 5 years from now when he's 30.
I'm projecting he will be. How about that?
That's fine. I would say I would project that too. I'm just saying as of right now because people say he's the second greatest point guard. Okay, like that's Magic. So Magic is ahead of him with Magic's championships. Tim Duncan has 5 chips, more defensive awards.
See, again, you're going with that versus like that.
I'm going through who
Tim
my
played
top
for a
10
team that for 20 years won 50 games every year, never had a losing season. They were always great. What Steph's doing this year, and this is based off what Legs is saying. I just want to say this, and then you guys, as the pros, tell me if I'm wrong. As a member of the media, as that guy,
You already
Key,
started off wrong.
right? Look, no, we are the curators of the sport. That's what we do. And so I look at it and I say, you know what? What he did during the Warriors, quote unquote, dynasty years, fantastic, because he was still one of their main guys, their alpha
Yes,
guys,
absolutely.
great player,
Absolutely.
and also has all the awards. But what he's done this year in a team that was going south, in a team that looked like a lot of other guys would have just pulled the plug, like this team's not good enough. We're too young, not experienced. They don't know how to win. He turned it from not liking the way we're playing to let me show you how to do it, and he has carried them since then. So with that, if they win tonight and get into the postseason, this to me adds to his legacy, despite the fact that they'd be an 8 seed.
Yes, absolutely.
When you are great and don't have a lot of greatness around you and still drag your team,
and still accomplish something major.
that
mean like
only
drag your team.
solidifies your greatness.
And what I would say is part of everything you said, and to kind of put a sweetener on top, he changed the style of play in the NBA. The shot that we saw LeBron James make the other night wouldn't have taken place if it wasn't for Steph Curry.
That's right.
He wouldn't have never even tried that.
Wouldn't have needed it.
It wouldn't have been a shot that was even on our television screens. As far as the whole top 10 and if he's this and that, it's hard because everybody that's on Jay's list is already done.
Right.
That's why I said
Because you
It's
even
better to have the
in
complete body of work.
the end, Kevin Durant's gonna be in there somewhere.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I would
Yes.
think.
Yes.
In the end, Kevin Durant
Yes,
is
he
going
will
to be in there somewhere. So it's kind of like it's still going on, right?
It's always a fluid list because there's players that are still playing, and there's going to be some guys that are going to move.
Yeah, but
off that
you
list
can tell
that are going to be tough to move.
You can tell, Jay, in sports, the projection side of where those individuals that's still playing are going to end up. Like if everything goes well and Kevin Durant stays healthy, he's going to probably slide in that top 5, right? I mean, that's just kind of what you see. If Steph Curry stays healthy and Klay Thompson comes back and they're able to win 1 or 2 more because they add a piece or two, then he slides into that top 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's just what it is. It's still going on.
Let's call this Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Go ahead, Jay.
It's just interesting even hearing like the hypotheticals because I heard legs on the sound that said, if KD doesn't go there or something along these lines.
Yes, that's correct.
That the body of work for Steph will look a lot different, because he would put up a lot of bigger numbers and he would have to carry the load differently. And I say, okay, like that is correct. It would have been different, but like, do they win 2 more championships without Kevin Durant? I don't know. That's a legit question, right? That's a legit question.
Do you even get to
that
Kevin
last Durant
final?
also got
he
got 2 Finals MVPs. He played a pretty significant role. So yes, we haven't seen Steph Curry the way he played this year like that back then because it had KD. But then I don't know if Steph can elevate that team to championship level by himself because the rest of the league was catching up. Like it's a fair argument.
But he didn't need to shoot.
And this is not knock. I think Steph Curry is one of the most tremendous players I've ever seen in the history of the damn game. Like, not saying he's not top 10 right now is not being disrespectful to Steph Curry. Like, he's still my top 15, like top 20 all time. He's trending in the direction of being top 10. I'm just not ready to put him in there right now.
Well, because all those guys are retired and they already showed us everything anyway, right? They've already given us everything. I mean, it's nothing left. And as far as 5 years ago, like Legs was talking about, Steph didn't need to shoot as much with those guys. He didn't need to score 50. It's something that he just didn't need to do.
Didn't mean he couldn't do it.
He shouldn't be punished.
Yes, agreed.
For that. He shouldn't be punished for that. Like, he doesn't need to make those crazy shots. Now he does because he's carrying the team. It's totally different.
And I find that more compelling. I don't know if you guys
Absolutely.
think. We love watching
Absolutely.
greatness. We love watching super teams. But I also
Man,
get something out of what.
I tell people all the time about my own career when they start talking. I say, just look when I left the building. Look what happened to y'all when I left the building. That's all that matters. And look what happened when I went somewhere else at that position.
Can I say something though?
That's it.
If we are utilizing this argument to appreciate the greatness of Stephen Curry, use the same argument to appreciate the greatness of LeBron James. Because if Steph Curry is bringing this team to the 8th seed, I don't want to hear people that say, whoa, LeBron James, look at his record in the finals. Do you know what teams LeBron James brought to the damn finals?
No,
Matthew Dellavedova, Boobie Gibson. And we can talk through it. He didn't bring them to the 8th seed. He brought them to the finals.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even have that argument.
I know,
Jay,
but people like to use that against Bron. Like, look at his finals record, and that's what holds him back because Jordan had like the 6-0 record, and people going. I'm just saying, utilize the same argument for Steph to appreciate his greatness for LeBron James and the teams that he carried to the finals.
This conversation is going to come up again later in the show because there's something else that was
championships, man.
I know, but people use that. Like, I hate when fans are like, well, look at his record in the finals. You know how hard it is to bring teams to the finals? Look what Steph has to do to bring his team to the 8th seed. They're fighting for the 8th seed tonight.
That ain't the only one. Here it is. He was in the East.
Oh, he was in the East.
That too. There is that too. But
use that same argument.
We just put him in the penthouse. Like so I don't think that's disrespectful either. We are already accepting the fact that he is in the argument of 1, 2, whatever you feel,
Kareem can't get a penthouse.
That's what
we can't build an extra penthouse. We can't build
my penthouse.
When you start,
Kareem's in my penthouse.
When you start with the NBA and you don't start with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, something wrong, man.
So now we're putting three apartments on the top.
More accolades than
I'm just saying,
99.9%
as a football player, and a crack basketball player, I start with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the conversation when it starts. Just me. It ain't got nothing to do with
what is a crack basketball player.
I'm trying to figure out
just very
negative Nate crack so many keyisms
crack
this morning.
Basketball player, man. Really think you good?
Coming out of court,
you really think you
what
good?
Move is that? I haven't seen that scratch move before.
All right, well, Steph Curry, not the only 2-time MVP, still trying to build his legacy. But is Giannis going to complete his career in Milwaukee or elsewhere? The Milwaukee situation is one we got to discuss, and we'll do that after this from O'Reilly.